Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing good. I am doing just great. So here I am with the saga that continues of the 2019 Gibson Standard HP-4, and it's the high performance, so it has the advanced circuitry inside of there where you have push and pull pots, some dip switches inside there, and this thing is basically supposed to drive your car for you. Now, there are some known problems that are on the internet. I'm sure Gibson already knows about them through forums and other complaints from customers and stuff who have purchased this guitar. But do they do anything for you to help you sort this out? And I have to say the answer is no. Okay, so they leave it up to you. You have a choice. You can send it back, get your money back. I mean, this is not a cheap guitar, and buy someplace else. Maybe not the same guitar as your flipping Gibson the Bird, or take it to your luthier and spend more money on top of what you've already spent to have the problem fixed. It's up to you. So if you hear that little bit of buzzing in the background, that is my amplifier. I'm using the Boss Katana. This is the 50 watter. And as you can hear, my power going to it isn't all that clean. Kind of hear a little bit of buzzing in the background. Now I have the volume and the master turned up, and you're kind of hearing the vibrations of the guitar strings as I'm talking a little bit, and it kind of sounds kind of interesting, but it's not supposed to be like that. So that problem is being taken care of. Now this room, this office, this shop, whatever it started off to begin with, ended up being built when I was 13 years old. And well, between my father and my uncle, they basically built this thing from scratch, from the ground up. This was a concrete floor and concrete walls, and they did all the electrical themselves as well. Well, half of the wall outlet was grounded and the other half was not. So I had to fix the problem later on as I started getting into more and more fixing certain electronics, some audio stuff, and started getting a computer inside of here. And well, till I actually got an amplifier and plugged it in, I really noticed the noise. So that issue is fixed, but the power is still a little dirty. So I have something coming, and it's going to end up fixing the noise problem, hopefully. This way I can really test out guitars and stuff to where I can not have any unwanted noise in the signal and be able to work on things kind of better than what I have been doing. Alright, so I have the amplifier turned back on again, and I'm using a good patch cord this time. And as you can see, my amp settings are pretty much turned up, so I can have this nice, wonderful buzzing sound that you can kind of hear. And let's go back to the guitar. So here's the circuitry control cavity of the 2019 Gibson Standard HP-4. And you can kind of see it's a little bit of a clusterfuck inside there. You got your dip switches for turning everything on and off. I've already went through those to see if maybe those make a difference in some of the noise. Now the buzzing sound that you hear will be corrected later on, but for right now, I'm kind of glad I have it because it's going to enhance some of the problems or issues that I'm having with this guitar. So if you notice right where it says standard, you can see that there is a plug in that area, and there are 5 wires going to it. You have a black, green, red, white, and black again. Well, the 2 blacks are grounds, okay? And then you have your wire going from the pickups to the switch, and then from the switch back over to the circuit board, and then it runs through the circuit and back out your output jack. So I was follow that wire all the way over here. So all right. So if you can kind of see inside there, if I give it a little bit of light, maybe it might brighten up things. So if you kind of see inside there, well, there's a green wire that's connected. You got a red, you got a white, and then you have your ground that's connected to the center post. But you hear that noise? It's picking up the phone. Pretty sensitive, huh? So if I touch the plug back here, kind of hear that it changes the noise coming from the amp. Now I can touch, here's the pickup, here's the other pickup, but here is that three-way switch. Here's the ground wire coming off your bridge. I could touch that. I could touch the shielding tape that I put around, which I'm going to replace that and use the copper tape, since some people complain that the shielding tape, the silver, really is crap and the copper is better. So I'll switch it over just to make everybody happy. So if I go over to the three-way switch and put my hand over it, you kind of hear that noise change. Well, here's a closer look of what's going on inside of the cavity where the three-way switch is. So if you can kind of see, I'm going to shut this amp off while I'm talking. If you can kind of see inside there that, well, there are some wires that are just stranded inside of the cavity that are not connected to anything. And they're just kind of hanging around there, just doing nothing. Well, that's part of the wire grounding and shielding of the harness that goes from the control cavity to the three-way switch. Now, my thought is, and I'm hopefully thinking that this is correct, Gibson fucked up and didn't connect that with the other ground that is inside of that control cavity connected to the switch. Now, that's where the noise is coming from. And I bet you once I get everything stripped out, taken apart and everything else on this guitar and shield everything the way that I want to shield it, I bet you that noise will go away. So if you're really interested in finding out how this comes out, well, stay tuned for the next video. This way I will have the right parts. They should be coming today as far as getting rid of some of the noise from the amplifier. And yeah, I'll take this thing apart and reshield it. And then I have a major buffing job to do on the back of this guitar. Or maybe not buffing, but just polishing up a little bit. My hand fingerprints and everything else is all over this thing. So stay tuned for the next video and we'll find out if this fixed it.